Morning, everybody. Today I want to talk about the way things are going around these days. You can't get food hardly. Well, you can. It's expensive. Gas is going up. Costs more to go anywhere to get any food. And I think it'd be a good time to talk about some books, because I've got a stack of books. Books behind me back there. Main focus on these books is all these books and what they tell you. There's some real good books out there, a lot of good books that talk about growing, doing livestock, market gardening, how to grow, what to grow, when to grow it, how to grow together, what not to put together. I think there's some cover crop stuff going in there. Just a whole bunch of stuff. Raising chickens, cows, just livestock. Things you need to know about growing your own food, manage your own homestead, being so much more independent than having to go to the store and get something all the time, depending on going to the store. It costs money. So I want to talk today about these books that I've got, and they're good books. I haven't read them all the way through. I read them as I go through them. I mean, just as I go. But a bunch of key points, you need to know with these books. Like this one from Eliam Polish, something like that. Can't really pronounce it, but how to start your own farm. This one's a good one. It's got all kinds of things in here about fruits, vegetables, when to grow them, how to grow them, rainwater catchment, harvesting sunlight, what's on the tables here. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in these books. It's crazy how much stuff is in here. Let me see, just like 3 golden rules of farming, like basic stuff to get you started, how to market garden. There's like 2 big sections on here like that. Even tells you how to buy, what land to buy, what land not to buy, if you were thinking about going to get land to start something. It's just a good book all the way around. It's got a lot of stuff in it. And like I said, a lot of these books have a bunch of stuff in them. And Gaia's Garden. I mean, they talk about raised beds, how to do grapes in your area and stuff, like catching water, conserving water, growing food forest if you were into that sort of thing. Let's see, what else is there in here? Gardener's ecology, ecological garden, nitrogen fixers, nurse plants, useful plants for birds, because the more diverse you've got in your garden, and not really, I'm trying to think. You need plant diversity, you need soil management, you've got to have good biologicals in your soil, food web in your soil and stuff, keeping good bacteria in your soil, keeping your whole soil healthy. Because like a lot of them always say, you're not growing food, you're growing soil. If you can manage your soil and make it the most healthy that you can without chemical fertilizers and all that stuff, it's a huge benefit on the garden. Earthworms, composting. I mean, you compost cow manure, all kinds of stuff. Compost your kitchen scraps, everything. Paper products, like real paper plates, not the foam ones, but real paper plates, newspapers, Cardboard is real good without the plastic. A lot of cardboard's got that glossy finish plastic on them. Can't use that because it doesn't. It's horrible for it. It's not. It don't get it decompose right. So you got to have like brown cardboard. The glue. A lot of people say don't use cardboard because it's got glues in it and all that. But the glues are biodegradable. They're food grade glues. Like newspapers, it's the same way. The ink will leach out into your soul and all that. The ink in newspapers, I can't remember when it was. It was back in the early 1900s, I think, something like that. Maybe, I don't remember. But it was, they made it where they had to make the ink like biodegradable, like it wouldn't harm anything. So newspapers, cardboard, stuff like that, great stuff to use for composting. It'll bring your earthworms in. It'll get that biodiversity in your soil to keep it going. Like I said, they say, grow soil, not food. If the soil is the healthier soil, the better your food is. Because when they say grow soil, not food, grow the soil and make it healthy, and food is a bonus, pretty much is what they're talking about. But stuff like that you really need to know and understand about growing food and stuff like that, because the more you take from the soil, the less you're going to produce. Like if you turn up a good spot, say in a yard, never been gardened or anything, it's always been grass or whatever, you turn it up and you plant in it that first year, maybe in that first and second year, it's probably going to be amazing, just bam. And then after that, it's going to start slowly declining. And then that's when you gotta, you rotate crops for nitrogen fixers like peas and stuff like that. And you plant if you plant like a heavy feeder like corn, you can, corn, sunflower, stuff like that, are real heavy feeders. They're real heavy on nitrogen. So when you plant something that year and you want to plant something after that, you need to have something that's going to be like a nitrogen fixer, like peas. You can plant peas anywhere. I mean, you can take what they say, what a lot of people say, and it's true, and I've done it. Take your lowest quality garden bed that you've got, put peas in it, plant your peas and all that, and it'll dump that nitrogen back into your soil, and then you can plant something else behind it, and that'll benefit from the nitrogen that it puts in. Like you always want to rotate a nitrogen fixer with a heavy feeder and cover crop. If you're not using the dirt, cover crop it, because it'll get compacted, it'll wash away, the nutrients will wash away. You got to cover it somehow, whether it's cover crops, a fresh layer of compost, a tarp over it, let it sit for the seasons, like the off seasons. Then when you get ready to come back and plant, kind of dress it up a little bit, uncover it, dress it up a little bit, do what you need to do with it, and then you can just plant right into it. And the more often you do that and rotate, the better your gardens will be over time. The more you do it, the better they get every year. But this is another good book. This one here. That's a really good one. It's got, like I said, it talks about raised bed planting, stuff like that. So I've got a bookmark in this one right here. Yeah, it's even got a layout, and it tells you by zone. You can do, I don't know if you can see it good. Let me put it right there. Kind of like that. It actually gives you a map, like a basic map, but you kind of get the way your house and your yard lays out and the sun lays out and all that stuff. But it tells you how to do zone prep, plant certain things in certain zones. Like you would want, like say, if you want to plant herbs, stuff like that, you want to put them in a spot that's going to be closest to the house. Because you're not going to want, like if you're trying to grow if you're trying to cook, and you like say, well dang, I need some herbs and stuff, and You want fresh herbs. You want your stuff like that you're going to use most often out of the garden, closest to the house. Is like kind of like what you want to do. I mean, like we're going to plant a bunch of herbs and stuff this year, so we're going to plant them over there next to the side of the house where the kitchen is. And we need something. Just walk out the door, go get it, come back in the house real quick, and I'm not walking 3 acres down the daggum backyard back there trying to get herbs and stuff. So you just kind of want it. It's more you want it closer to the house. So I mean, so you can watch it too, whatever. And it makes it more convenient to have it closest to the house because you're more apt to use it instead of doing like me sometimes. I don't want to go all the way down to the end of the yard to go get something. We're going to the store anyway. I'll just get it over there. I do it too. I mean, but like I said, it's a good one to have. A lot of good ones in here. A lot of good books in here. Elliot Coleman, real good one. Organic grower. Like I said, talks about composting, winter gardening, all kinds of good information in this book. All these books have good stuff. He even does the soil blocking method. If you're into soil blocking, I personally don't. I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with it if you like to use it, but it's more tedious to use. You've got to get your combination of your soil mixture, your soil mixture right for your seeds. Your good grief, I've done went blank. Your seed start mix, whether you buy it at the store, and I'm talking seed start mix, not pot and soil stuff like that. Seed start mix. You can make it peat moss, blood meal, perlite. Just like basic things. Bone meal. You can mix it up, but you've got to figure your ratios and what works best, because you don't want it soggy because it's going to fall apart. You don't want it too dry because it's going to fall apart. It's got to have that perfect mixture of water with the peat moss and all to make it clumpy, or it won't fall apart. But you've got to keep it watered. And there is a benefit to it that your roots won't expand out past the soil block. Like once the little fine hair roots are growing out, more like a feeler root, when they feel that open air, they stop. They won't grow out no more. And they'll fill that little soil block full of roots. And there's the argument of transplant shock. You get less transplant shock with it. I've done both methods. I prefer trays. I use trays when I do transplants. I've used the soil blocks. I've got soil block makers out there in the greenhouse. I really didn't see much of a difference at all. As long as you harden them right. You want to let them sit out for a good week or two out in the open. If you put them in a greenhouse, to grow them, trying to get a jump start on the gardening. It's cold outside, you put them in the greenhouse. You keep them warm in the greenhouse. And then when you do that, you've got to harden them off. And what I mean by harden them off, you pull them out, you set them out in the sun, let them get used to the elements, the sun, the wind, and all that. The wind will make the stems of each plant stronger. Make them a lot stronger than they are in a greenhouse. You can make that artificially, simulate that artificially, if you have like a fan in the greenhouse. Like you take a box fan, put it up, and point it on your plants, and let it just blow constantly on your plants and make them wiggle. It'll make them stems a lot stronger. If you don't do that and you have them in there, and you take them out, go throw them in the dirt, you shock the mess out of them. Change the temperature, sunlight beating down on them, the wind. If they're not strong enough and you get a good gut, you get one day you've got them planted out there, they look good. The next day or overnight, you have wind pick up, start blowing across the garden. Them plants have it hardened off and they're kind of weak. it'll snap them. Lay them over, they're done. So I'll be right back. Well, hang on now. Come here, buddy. Oh my goodness. I was trying to do a good video before he woke up, but he's okay. But yeah, Elliot Coleman is a good book. That's a good one too. This is more toward market gardening. It's the name, The Market Gardener. Right there. It's like that. Use that. This one talks about, there's a lot of stuff. See, I've got it tagged. A lot of tags. What we got? Typical annual sales. And granted, this guy's in Canada, so it may differ here in the South in Alabama. May differ. But, I mean, it just gives you a rundown of total sales, price per pound, stuff like that. All kind of stuff in this book. A bunch of stuff in this book to get you started if you were in the market gardening. And you got tunnels, high tunnels, low tunnels, season extensions, just a bunch of different stuff in here. Harvest and storage. It tickles. What tickles? What tickles? So yeah, market gardening, that's a good one too. Real good one. Tells you about not tilling too deep. You don't want to destroy that soil structure. The more soil structure you got, like I said earlier, the better your garden's going to be. If you till deep every single year and you don't add to it like compost and stuff and let it sit, you're not gonna get the full benefits. Tell them exactly. Won't get the full benefits. Squirt. And these here, I'm gonna run them be kind of quick with these because he's up and I'm gonna get him something to eat and change a diaper. But forgotten skills. These are good ones. More forgotten skills. It's just like a part 2 of that one. Forgotten skills, herbal healing. Tells you how to get what herbs to use, what not to use, how to use them, what they're for. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff. Wild herbs, planted herbs, stuff that you can use, how to make tinctures, how to make medicines and teas, beneficial stuff. The forgotten skills, how to it's like the Mormon pioneers things used by the Mormon pioneers is what it says. Real good stuff. I've gotten these. It tickles. It tickles. But I mean, the well, let me see what we got. Renewing the Pioneer Seed Bank. Talks about seed saving. All them heirloom seeds, keeping them safe. How to store them. How to harvest them. Growing the pure seeds, seed potatoes. How to identify different flowers of like squash and stuff. The male and female flowers. How to use them to pollinate if you've got to self-pollinate and you don't have good pollinators in your area. How to draw in pollinators. I mean, it's a bunch of stuff. How to harvest your animals. And I'm not 100%, but it might not be these books here. But I know I have some other stuff, some other books I'm not allowed to promote per their policies because I guess censoring, I don't know. But I read up on it when I was going to promote it. And they're not allowed to do like Facebook, YouTube, stuff like that. But I do have them on my website. I've got all these books, links to these books on my website. I will put the links. I'll put a link to my email page. You register your email. I'll do a newsletter, like say I'm thinking I'm going to do it like every week, maybe, of different stuff that I find that might interest you and get you going if you're into it. And stuff like My Wife Don't Kill Me, stuff I buy, and I'll put it in there too. So I'll have this on my TikTok, my Facebook, my YouTube, Instagram. Got it all on there. I'll put links to everything in the video on my YouTube. And I will, like I said, I've got links to all these books. It takes you straight to them. They're my Amazon affiliate link. All my affiliate links for these books. I'll put them all on there. I'll put my, like I said, website link and all that stuff, because I've got more books on there, and I try to update it daily with at least one more book or one more product of some kind. Great big hug. Some kind of product that I can find that maybe that I've bought or I've seen other people use that I might buy, and just all around whatever you can use on the homestead that will make it a great big hug, that will make it help you be more independent. That's what I'm trying to say. So with that said, I'll get the little man something to eat and get his tickles and get a diaper changed, and we'll see you guys later. Have a good day. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, follow, subscribe on my YouTube and everything else I've got. It would sure help out a lot. And I appreciate it, and I will see y'all soon. Bye. Say bye. Say bye-bye.